Hey there, friends and enemies, Joper here again, and we are getting our first look at Ravenswatch, a brand new ARPG that's supposed to be a dark fantasy fairy tale twist that I'm very excited about. I'm on a ARPG kick right now with Diablo 4 on the horizon and checking out so many other good games that are in the genre, so I can't wait to see what this is all about as well. And yeah, let's see what is going on.
Ravenswatch is a particularly unique take on the familiar concept of a roguelike RPG, which puts its cast of heroes at the forefront. Pulled from the pages of classic fairy tales and given a dark fantasy twist, these heroes band together to vanquish an encroaching force of powerful nightmare creatures, or die trying.
That could be really cool. I like that. It sounds
Coming from the creators of the sleeper hit Curse of the Dead Gods, Ravenswatch left me feeling intrigued after an extended hands-on time with the closed alpha, which put a hero-centric spin on the good old-fashioned dungeon crawler.
I dig that. Looks like you can play co-op too. It's huge. Every ARPG.
Pulling from fairy tales such as Little Red Riding Hood, Beowulf, and the Snow Queen, you'll learn the ins and outs of your chosen hero as they explore a Diablo 2 style overworld and unlock their latent abilities to purge the land of malevolent corruption.
I dig it.
Ravenswatch sticks close to the formula of a dungeon crawler, but it hones its focus more into an adventure game that has a larger goal to accomplish. With each chapter taking place across 5 days, the main goal of your multi-day jaunt is to build up enough power to be on equal footing with the stage's end boss, allowing you and other party members to take them down and move on to the next phase of the quest.
Gotcha. That's very interesting.
What impressed me most from my time with the closed alpha was the cast of heroes. Seeing these characters I've read about in childhood live out that sword and sorcery fantasy is such a fantastic premise for a roguelike RPG, and they each have such clever design choices at work. For instance,
awesome
the character Scarlet, inspired by Little Red Riding Hood, actually has 2 play styles in one. During the day, she's an agile rogue that can toss bombs, but during the night, she transforms into a werewolf who can pummel and tear enemies apart.
That's sick.
While the roster falls into classic archetypes like the close-range brawler or zoning magic slinger, their personalities and narrative touches also shape their playstyles. For instance, the Pied Piper uses his enchanted flute and swarm of rats to attack foes from afar, allowing him to lead enemies away, weaken their defenses with his spells, and then pick them off with his music. Another standout was Aladdin, who's presented as an agile brawler type who can hack and slash through foes. But when he needs to call in an assist, he can summon the genie to beat down the opposition and even grant Aladdin one of 3 precious wishes to support the party or wipe out surrounding enemies. The most surprising standout to me was Melusine, a mermaid and siren that can strike at enemies with water magic. Yes, you can step into the role of the character that inspired the Little Mermaid in this dark fantasy action RPG, and she's awesome to play as.
That sounds so much fun.
As the most technical character of the roster, her attacks plant her firmly into position as you use the siren's song to attack enemies, and you'll need to slink away when an adversary gets too close. After you've taken out enemy encampments, raided small dungeons, and beaten mini-bosses over the 5 in-game days, the chapter's boss awakens from its slumber. These battles are hectic, blending elements of bullet hell games with Hades' dynamic boss encounters. Even with a fully decked out hero, the chapter-ending boss encounters will test your reflexes and the mastery of your character's skills.
Interesting.
When it all comes together, Ravenswatch is a fun romp that shows some incredible personality, but it can frequently feel unforgiving during some runs. Just one wrong move in your dungeon crawl can lead to disaster for your journey. Whether in solo or in a party, death comes easy. And with a limited number of revives, you can easily run through them trying to salvage a run gone bad. Generally, I felt the difficulty had struck the right balance between fair and challenging, but there were particular runs where I thought I had just stepped into a giant death trap rather than a sprawling overworld.
That's tough.
Furthermore, there was also a lack of direction for opportunities, which made it easy to wander into areas where you are easily outmatched. Those frustrations aside, I still felt that thrilling sense of empowerment from dungeon crawlers, which is made all the more satisfying when seeing the cool cast of fairy tale characters dish out pain to enemies. Much like Supergiant Games' Hades, Ravenswatch's positioning as an early access game puts it in a great place where it can really refine its core mechanics and flesh out its fantasy world.
Yeah, I like that.
With more characters and gameplay updates coming following its early access launch, there's so much potential with Pastech Games' promising next step into an action RPG.
Yeah,
it's already off to an enthusiastic start, and seeing the world and its gameplay evolve has gotten me excited to see just where Ravenswatch will go from here. For more on the latest action RPGs, don't miss our hands-on preview of Diablo 4.
Yeah, like I said, ARPG kick. I'm a fan of like fairy tales and the like, and the fact that you'll have different characters you can play in. People like to stick to class-based systems, but I don't mind, especially if it's kind of a story-focused and not an end-game-focused game. I don't mind really having it be characters that you can fall in love with, because one of the problems with it being classes is oftentimes it feels like you're character, but it's not a character that you might connect with as like a individual. Like again, Beowulf is a character that I'm very familiar with from mythology, and it just sounds really awesome to be able to play through him in a situation like this. So I'm very excited about this game. I definitely will look to play it as soon as I'm able to, and if I have some gameplay and if I'm able to get hands on, I will let you guys know. I'll show the gameplay here on the channel. But overall, I just love that there's competition in the ARPG space, and companies are trying different things. Maybe not with the gameplay necessarily, but with the storytelling and some of the other things that Ravenswatch is doing. So I like that a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. Let me know what you guys think. Is this a game that's on your radar? Will you be checking it out? Do you want to see me cover it more in the future? Subscribe to the channel, like the video if you haven't already. My name is Jopa. I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.